And the second test will start at the Wankhede Stadium tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Indian captain Virat Kohli is set to make a comeback as India prepares to take on New Zealand in that match. With the series level, India will need Kohli to step up and ensure a series victory against the World Test champions. The Indian captain explained why it's important for players in these days to take a break amid the very hectic schedule that they have.
समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि मेंटली रिफ्रेश होना एक बहुत ही क्रूशल चीज़ है. मैं अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से बता सकता हूँ कि वो 4-5 दिन ऐसी जगह में प्रैक्टिस करना जहाँ पे आप एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड एनवायरनमेंट में नहीं थे, आपके ऊपर 50 कैमरा नहीं थे. क्रिकेट की क्वालिटी को मेंटेन करने के लिए और प्लेयर्स की एबिलिटी को मैक्सिमाइज करने के लिए और उनको अच्छे स्पेस में रखने के लिए इन चीज़ों को कंसिडर करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. आई वांट टू गिव माय बेस्ट, आई वांट टू ट्राई and do the best possible thing for the team in that situation. I take a lot of pride in doing that. Yes, not all the time will you have phases where you bat the same way, and you have to understand and accept that in a long career span. So it's all about putting in the hard yards, working hard on your game.
Now, Test cricket returns to Wankhede Stadium after 5 years. That coincides with Virat Kohli's return as well. Kohli will be eager to get certain things ticked in his box. The first and foremost being ending his century drought, and that would help him break Ricky Ponting's record. I'm joined at this hour by my two experts. We have Prakash Vakankar, senior cricket commentator on the show. Also will be joining me, Babashish Nanda of Fantasy Gully. Prakash, coming to you, how hopeful are you of Virat Kohli's next 100 happening in Wankhede? Because when we look at the stats that this man has in Wankhede Stadium, it's quite phenomenal.
Yes, he does have a fabulous record, Rika, at the Wankhede, and I think if memory serves me right, the last time India played a test match there, he got a big 100. And I think he'll be wanting to do well. I just suspect that New Zealand continue to spring surprises, don't they? I mean, they are such a competitive team that they do fight very, very hard, as we saw in that last 40 minutes or so at Kanpur. And they come here, in theory, with a chance of winning the series. Let's not write that off completely, though I think the chances are quite slim.
And while Virat Kohli returns to the team, would you say the focus really returns on India's middle order? Because I was just looking up the stats between Cheteshwar, Pujara, Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane. There's only one century in 82 innings, and that's some serious underachievement.
It certainly is. I think underachievement is an understatement, if I may say so, because yes, they have struggled. Let's be honest about it. And that is not the character of these three players. I hate saying it, Rika, but the fact is players are human beings and they will go through patches. But if the patches that are not where they're not scoring extend as long as these have, and there's just the odd innings here or there which sort of restores your faith temporarily, good players carry on that run. So Rahane, after that 100 in Australia, you would have expected him to continue to get a couple of big scores. Pujara with that 90 odd in England, you would have thought he would get on. It's not happening. And there are youngsters, as we've seen with Shreyas Iyer, who are biting at the sort of bit to continue to get chances. So it'll be interesting to see what Rahul Dravid and the team management decide, but it won't be an easy choice, whichever way they choose to go.
Babashish, would you say, what VVS Lakshman said about dropping Mayank Agarwal and promoting Pujara to accommodate Virat Kohli could become a reality? Babashish, we don't have your audio on air. Could you unmute yourself, please? I don't have Babashish's audio. Let me get Prakash into that question. Do you think it could become a reality, Prakash, that Mayank Agarwal is dropped and Pujara is promoted up the order to accommodate Virat Kohli? Because you mentioned that Shreyas Iyer is hot on the heels of some of the senior players. He may not be dropped, but do you see this happen, as VVS Lakshman said?
Well, I'll tell you, one thing is clear. I certainly wouldn't want to be in that team management right now making that call, because whichever way you look at it, it's a tough one. You drop Mayank Agarwal, how many times is the poor guy going to be chopped and changed? yes, you can argue he's young enough and he may get more opportunity. Shreyas Iyer, in my opinion, cannot and should not be dropped. That leaves you with a conundrum of playing 2 out of these 3. Are you going to drop one of the 2 stalwarts? Maybe it's time. Maybe it isn't. I just get a nagging suspicion that it will be that Pujara will probably be asked to open and Mayank may have to take the fall.
Now, let me ask you this question. You've mentioned the fact that Kiwis have come here to win. They are World Test champions. They do not want to lose. India, on the other hand, has been unbeaten for 13 series at home, and that's been a long stretch. Do you think that India realistically can make it 14 in Mumbai?
I absolutely think they can, weather not interfering too much. I mean, we're seeing December rain in Maharashtra, which is very rare. And if the weather holds up and Virat Kohli doesn't lose the toss, he's hardly won any tosses. But that apart, look, India is the stronger team. There's no doubt about it. I think Siraj will get a look in and should get a look in. I thought Ishant was flat. India need the new ball to strike and then the spinners to come in. India will go in favourites and they'll want to correct that Kanpur miss and make sure they win the series and the points for the World Test Championship.
Interesting. Virat Kohli has said that this is not going to be a rank turner. This is going to be a good cricket wicket that will give opportunity for all the members of the side to show their skills. Thank you very much, Prakash, for joining me on the broadcast this evening.